statement from the board now.
Oh, here we go.
Last week, Elon opened a discussion with the board about taking the company private. This included discussion as to how being private could better serve Tesla's long-term interests and also address the funding for this to occur. The board has met several times over the last week and is taking the appropriate next steps to evaluate this. This is a statement from members of the board, including Buss, Denholm, Gracias, Rice, and James Murdoch. We'll put that up for you so you can read it in a couple
There you go, David. They watched the show, they heard you, and they quickly issued a statement.
And I'm glad they did. Now, nothing in here about what those next steps are. As we said, of course, typically, for example, Dell, one of the largest LBOs of all time, with an owner who rolled in and a partner in private equity, immediately set up a special committee. The first we heard about it was through that. I don't remember if there were leaks of the possibility of it. And everybody got down to business, and you went back and forth. We'll see what develops here. My main question is regarding funding. I cannot imagine what that word means, that I have secured funding, or those words mean. Because they don't mean what I would take them to mean, I don't think.
No, it does seem fanciful, but it is. If you say something like that and it's a lie, then there are consequences.
They say in this press release, address the funding for this to occur. They've had discussions as how being private would better serve Tesla's long-term interests, and also address the funding for this to occur.
You know, look who could be in
I don't know what that means either.
If that's true,
you can address the funding by saying, I don't think you can get the funding.
If assuming this, I mean, obviously, the board statement, we take it for what it's worth. Morgan Stanley says, if this is true, why would you announce it in this way when you're arguably driving up the required premium and hence leverage down the road?
Well, it does. I mean, I think that the man is possessed with the shorts. I think that he, unlike the people who are running, say, Herbalife, really seems to know how to play hardball. David, he's got Steve Jurvetson, who's a totally real managing director of Draper Fisher. That's a capable person on the board. James Murdoch could be. I think a lot about Linda Johnson Rice, officer of Johnson Publishing. But you know what? He could have Kimball Musk on the Kimball Musk is the last name's Musk.
Got it.
Probably related.
Yes, I think so. I think so.
No, I'm saying it's a real board, but it does seem fanciful. But the man loves to tweet like our president. And he says a lot of things, like our president, that are emphatic. It was emphatic.
Does this statement read to you like funding is secured?
I think he's David Blaine, and I still couldn't figure out how David Blaine was able to sew his lips up and have the king of spades, the card that I predicted, in his mouth when Dr. Oz cut this first.
There's not a scenario under which you could model out an LBO and where it would work. Now, I mean, unless somebody's cutting him an equity check for the whole thing, but then they would own it, so he would be selling it somehow. I mean, I
think there's a 50% chance that there's just a simulation. You don't understand.
By the way, he
power
apparently uses that on a lot of people. So just so you know, you weren't the only one. He talks a lot.
He talks
a lot. I talked to other people who met him. He's like, he's always talking about things being a simulation.
How about a Dutch auction at 420 to get the shorts?
That's what this is about, right?
Yes.
Yeah.